Everyone, welcome to another episode of Independent Artists Unite Song Series. Today, the return of Albatross Heights with his new song, Where'd You Go? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How are things in Long Island? Is it raining over there? We got rain here in Denmark.
It was wicked raining yesterday, man. It was just monsoon, but now it's beautiful. The humidity's out the air. Summer is on its way. Can't complain. Can't complain. Yeah. Hope it stays now. We've been going back to 45, 50 degrees over and over. So I hope it stays
Oh
put
yeah.
now.
Yeah. Now we're looking like we're going to get the first inklings of summer coming up from like Wednesday of this upcoming week. So that's exciting
That's
here because
awesome.
we've also had a lot of like really damp and coldish
Yeah.
weather that was not anything like summer. So
Yeah. We had this whole June showers bring July flowers crap going on. So I don't know what was. I was like, I don't live in Seattle.
but
What's going on?
dude, I love this song. I mean,
Thank you.
I know it's like I hope it doesn't seem genuine because I love all of your songs, you know.
I appreciate
But this one I could tell, I just knowing that you've gone through some personal things this year, and I can hear that echoed in this song. I believe, but tell us a bit about what inspired this one.
Well, first of all, I got to tell you, you're always on the money with what you hear in my songs, and I don't know how you do it because I don't know sometimes what these things are about. Most times till later, as I probably told you, without trying to sound pretentious, I
Yeah.
write stuff. I kind of write words for sound or stream of consciousness. I find out what it's about later. And it sounds pretentious, but it's what happens to me.
Yeah.
Um, a short note about this one. This is an older song. I wrote it around 2008 and 2009. I just
Oh, interesting. Okay.
polished it, and hopefully it's sounds a bit better now. But I didn't realize that at the time when I wrote it, I lost, I forgot that that was right at around the time I lost both of my grandmothers, and then,
Mm,
lost my dad a few months back. And so it
yeah.
stirs a lot of the same energy up.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah, because that's what I thought you were writing about, was the loss of your dad.
It, it's a broad thing. It applies. It's about maybe general, you know, where do people go? Missing people, people that pass on, uh, what happens and stuff like that. And it is a wide cast open thing, so it could mean anything to anybody, but it takes on around the time of passings. It kind of does come back to me a little bit. So that has to have something to do with it, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting because, well, I've also lost both my parents, so I know what that's like. And but also like well, I guess like also coming from what I did with like the rock scene in New York City and being a drug addict at the time, a lot of people didn't make it through that, or actually they died early, due to other things like cancer or something like that. But
Yeah.
it's interesting, whenever someone dies, it's like I think that it's like you think that you're used to it, but it's like I go through the same thing each time where like when it happens, I'm like I kind of have this like spiritual idea about like, oh yes, this is what happens and da 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 da. And then I just go like for
Yeah.
like 3 days. I go into this whole kind of existential thing about life and death, and and it just seems to happen every time. It's not
Yeah.
something you ever get used to, I guess.
You're never used to it. You're never ready for it. That's for sure. Um, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and jokingly about myself, it's a fitting song to come back with after being offline for months. Like, where the hell did you go? If anybody noticed. So I think it's kind of funny too, in a way. It's like, oh, yeah. That's legit. Here we
Yeah,
go.
well, I mean that also happens too. Yeah, well, that's also another where'd you go thing. Because actually, I don't know if you saw, I did a post today because I was inspired because actually quite a few, of like people that not necessarily been on the show. Maybe some of them have kind of fallen off. And I just realized it actually is just so hard to keep going, as an independent artist and in today's like streaming world and all this kind of shit, there's just so many ways to kind of get down on yourself and
Yeah,
make yourself believe that it's not worth doing. And
you're really
yeah,
right about that. It is. Sorry to cut you off there, but no, you're right.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, did
different.
you go through some of that on this time off, or was it about more about your dad? Or
I've been there in the past. This one wasn't so much about that. It wasn't about despondency, situational stuff with that as much. This time was just let me just tune out a bit, and I let myself do things that I wanted to do without being like, now you really should be putting your posts up and you really should be
Mhm,
working on music
yeah,
25/8 hour, I'm like, no,
yeah,
let's just cool it, man. Let's live life. Something big happened. And
yeah, yeah.
I won't eat up all your tape on this one, but
No, no, no.
but
That's yeah.
I've been repairing. I just got into tinkering again with electronics. Like I would rebuild guitars, I'd rebuild synthesizers, and I've been buying a bunch of banged up synths and retooling them lately and
Oh,
having
cool.
a shitload of fun um, doing that. And I just let myself kind of go nuts with it and said, just
Oh,
do
that's so
that and
cool.
come back to music when you're ready. And just a short thing without going too deep into it. The one thing that's really liberated me on the music front is to be like, hey, go have fun. Post when you want to, post when you got something to share. Don't be pressured. We're not, the limo's not pulling up, the sound scan's not coming in. The good
Yeah,
side of that is there's no pressure to do it. Come
yeah,
from a nice, fun place. And you know what? My music has felt, I don't know if it sounded better, but it's felt better when I've done that, to be real.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I actually do you I forgot to ask you if you could read the lyrics. Do you have the lyrics handy?
I don't, but I'll recall them as best I can. Please excuse me for a second. I'm going to get a clip so this thing doesn't keep sliding down.
Oh yeah, 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 no problem.
I'm so sorry. It's like, yeah, we're pro here in this studio,
Hey,
bud.
no problem.
That's not even
I
good.
yeah, I maintain an amateur status, I believe in that.
I'm a professional amateur and I'm a to the max. Yeah, that's not going to stay. I'm just going to keep pushing it unless if it gets annoying, just be like, yo, dude, we got to pause. Stop doing
No, no,
that.
no. That's fine. Yeah.
Um, in a red book with lions on the cover, there's a strange story, unlike many others. Is probably the only literal thing uh, in the whole song. That's a very loose thing talking about Jesus, I think. And that's not coming from a holy roller standpoint. That's coming from you got a guy, he went away and he came
Mhm.
back.
Yeah, yeah.
um, I'm not trying to get preachy here. I believe in a lot of things. I came in the door Christian. I'm spiritual in a lot of ways. And I still, have my Christianity, but I'm not a preachy, judgy. I'm not like trying to say everybody better be that. That's one of
Yeah.
the many things I'm into. Um, and that kicks off the song with kind of a weird like where are you going with that. Where are you going? And so from there I'm just
It's
let
the
it rip.
where'd you go within the where'd you go?
Where's this going? Yeah. And then from there I never like to put too fine a point on it. Both from I just like to see what words come out that sound good.
Hmm.
um and in kind of I don't know, a Tom York Radiohead way. I like to make things that sit there. You can make it mean what you want. I want to leave something with people that means something for them, and they can mold it and put it in their life and let it mean something to them. I don't want to be writing no bad with this, but in my world, I'm writing ex-girlfriend songs that only me and somebody that knows me can relate to or something. I want
Yeah,
something that somebody can take away and be like, that was about my dog, or that was about this trauma I had.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
all correct,
yeah, 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 yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. Um,
And then, what are there any more lyrics to it you can recall? Or
oh, I mean, I can needle drop. I have to now. I'm gonna have the
well,
senior
no,
moment.
it goes into the chorus. You tell us the chorus. So
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird song because there's this song doesn't have a chorus. It kind of just keeps looping, and I mean, where'd you go? Phraseology would be the refrain, if anything like that. But
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's weird. I just it's a one pattern song.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I guess I end the song with don't hide your love away.
Oh yeah,
That may
I love that too. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it may be the other literal just to be like everybody's not here forever on this rock. I believe
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
is here forever. That's my personal belief.
yeah,
But in this sphere, we're here for a limited time. Make the most of it. Be cool to people. Love people, and don't neglect them. Don't forget about them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. And once again, I feel like a little bit of Geddy Lee bass action on there. This one's really got a moving, like the bass line is really awesome.
Thank you. I love that we vibe on Rush, man. That's a rare thing I get to do with people. I love that. Um, I wanted I don't think I went in like this, but when I look back on it, I'm like, that's in my head. I think I was trying to do Geddy Lee meets Peter Hook of New Order Joy Division.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, that's two of my favorite freaking bass players. I mean,
That's
off
right.
that.
Yeah, because you do have like a higher like kind of melody on the bass, right?
I love Peter Hook. Yeah, that
Yeah, yeah,
high
yeah.
chorus. I freaking, that guy, there's nobody like him. I mean,
Yeah, that really was like I mean, it's like I don't know how that can be an innovation just playing higher on the bass, but that really is a signature thing that he did.
yeah. I mean, you hear New Order, the rest of the band's great too. I'm not saying that, but you hear New Order, you hear that bass, you know who the hell it is off the bat. You know, it's
I've said this before on the show, but have you heard the story that he started doing that just so he could hear what he was playing because the band was so loud in rehearsals?
That's right. And you know what? Ian Curtis was like, keep doing that. Keep doing that. That's signature. That's going to put us on. And he was freaking right.
Yeah,
God
yeah,
rest his soul, Ian.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, but it also made a nice little pocket for his like lower his baritone to sit in, you know.
Man, you, uh, yeah, you hear like Perfect Kiss or stuff like that, where you hear all the synth stuff, and then you hear him. Oh, that's chills.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Freaking chill.
It's
And
so
then
good.
like talking about like the Cure and stuff like that. When you get the, I've got the six Fender six back there.
Oh,
I love
nice.
doing stuff on there. I didn't do Where'd You Go. I didn't have that when I did Where'd You Go bass line recording, but that's the kind of stuff I do on that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and too, it's like you said, there's it's more like the line repeats, I guess you said, instead of like a chorus, but it and then you also like sing super high on this one too. You really showed
Yeah.
your range as a singer on there.
I try. Yeah. I just felt like that was good for climactic parts and stuff like that. And somebody said way back when I put it out there, like, it's got some another it's a compliment. I'll take it. It's like, yeah, it's got some Echo and the Bunnymen vibe on. I'm like, I will take that. Thank you. You
Yeah.
know, um, so it's 80s. I mean, it's 80s as heck. It's not a modern sounding song. It's got some modern things I do in it, but it's 80s as heck, and I don't apologize for
80s is
it.
heck. That's,
It is
that's a bumper sticker right there.
80s as heck.
It's heck.
If I find one, I'm buying it. I'm making it, whatever. But yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I hope that came out in the song. It was a lot of fun to do this one. It really was.
I subscribe to these like 80s, like on Instagram where it's like 80s whatever, and it comes up in this latest one. It was so true. It was like it had and Richard Thomas as John Boy, and it's like this was the sign to change the channel immediately in my day.
Oh my God.
I just
Dropping
said that to my
Waltons,
sister. It was so true.
dropping some Walton science up in.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Oh man. So everything you recorded all the parts and you sang it all that was all back in 2008?
I added some stuff recently to it, re-sang some parts.
Okay.
Um, a lot of the incidental effects and the mixing and all redone. Bass is mainly the same, little touch up. Guitars mainly the same, little touch up. Because I don't know, I'll out myself here, but again, I no apologies. That guitar, that's a loop I made. I wanted it to sound like I didn't want to play over and over.
Okay.
I wanted it to sound chopped and house music
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I wanted
Okay.
it to be meditative. So I played a bunch of things, took the best one, and said I want that to sound like somebody was on an MPC going doo 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 like
Oh,
a hip
cool.
hopper
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or a house guy. So it's got that house element too. House meets you
House
know
meets Rush.
house meets
Like
Russia.
Echo in the Park.
Oh yeah. you know? So yeah, had some house, and I love house music, and it's kind of hypnotic vibe on it. I've got some filters unfolding with some high pitched sample vocals on there, kind of French housey stuff put over it. But it's rock meets house, which is basically me,
Yeah.
you know.
It's really fun, and I said this recently to someone else, but it really is like you want to listen to it again and again because there's so
Uh,
many interesting things in there. It
Thank you.
really like holds up to like repeated plays.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. I hope so. I hope people do dig it. I know the repeating thing isn't for everyone, and now the '80s thing isn't for everyone. Too, I am. I can't.
Uh-oh, really? That happened? I missed
Yeah,
that.
yeah, right. Well, I'm stuck. Look, you can't take the '80s out out me. I guess I love
Yeah,
it.
I can't take it out of me. I'll have nothing left.
I, that's why we probably vibe a lot. I can hear it. We can hear where we come from, and I love it. I
Yeah.
love your music, man.
Oh, thanks.
The vocals, especially, you got the vocals on your stuff is ridiculous, awesome. So I mean,
Oh, thanks, man. Um, but it's interesting that it was in that it was like written and mostly recorded in 2008 because it's still kind of the sound that you have now, like it fits in with all the other stuff. Whereas I think if I had actually I was on my like I was on like a 20-year break from music in 2008. I didn't start again. I don't know if it was 20 years. I stopped in like 2002, I think.
yeah,
And I didn't make music again until 2016. So I,
that's
I
awesome.
had this like well, I had total breakdown, and then it turned into just a break from music. But yeah, I think if I took something from way back then, it would sound very different than the kind of music that I do now. So it's interesting that you like have this sound that's lasted over time.
Well, I almost took a break in a weird way too, not from music, but from the styles. I did a lot of '80s new wave and shoegazy stuff in the '90s and 2000s.
Hmm.
As I got in the 2010s, I started adding a little more glam and a little more industrial and harder stuff and some hip hop edge with another project, not hip hop verses. I can't do. Nobody wants to hear that. Me do that. But beats and all. But I'm not trying to rhyme like that. I don't have that. But like and then I came back around to it, as often happens. I started doing the psychedelic and airy stuff again, probably about 6 years ago, and reaching back in the catalog. And one advantage of not being a very popular artist is that nobody knows you put it out. So you can reach back, and I own that. I got the
Oh, okay.
right.
You actually put this out before.
I put it out. Yeah, it was on
Oh,
an
okay.
album. It was on an album that came out in '09. Under another moniker. I have a couple other monikers
Okay.
in the past. This one's called The Invisible Kid. So if you want to hear
Oh, I
a
like that name
version,
actually. Yeah.
thanks, man. I mean, if you want to go back and hear a version with like really out of tune vocals and bad mixing, go listen to that one. And I hope it's stricken from the record, but somebody's gonna find it. But but no, I'm proud of what I did then. But I did want to bring it up to date. But the soul of it, I tried to be like, I did like where it was. So let me restate this. And I'm going to do that with a few songs. I did that with a few, right before my kind of break recently when I did Test Pattern Dreams. That's an older song.
Okay.
And I've got a whole bunch of stuff in the catalog I'm going to dust off. I'm not just going to sit on my laurels and do all that, but I do have some stuff I would like to see the light of day, and I'll bring it
And
forward.
what's that process like when you are you just like did you like listen to it on Spotify or something and say, oh, maybe this could be I could spruce this up a bit, or how did that happen?
Yeah, you listen to it on Spotify, you hide your head because you're like, dude, you sound like trash. Why did you do this? And then you go like, okay, I've got to either erase this from Spotify or put a better version. And then no, and then you hear stuff. Well, there are two things happen. You have that jokey response, but also I this isn't. I'm not a vain person at all. It's not coming from this place, but I hear some stuff and I'll be like, hey, that wasn't that bad, man.
Yeah.
Let's do some more with this. I think it's got some more life in it, and let's get people to hear it again. And that's where this one came from, and a few others. And I have the means and the knowledge to mix it better, sing it
Mm,
better, maybe take a few things to a different place.
yeah.
And Yeah, that's where that is. And then the other part is just cussing it live when you try Ableton Live when you try to load the old set and it keeps crashing because old plugins or whatever aren't there.
Oh yeah. Well, you mentioned that you have this a live setup to videotape live. What's that about? You got some live streaming
Yeah,
performances coming up, or?
I have a live out in Long Island here. There's a bookstore in the back of it. It's really cool. They have a back room and they have performances there, all kinds of stuff, jazz, songwriter, electronic. I did it like an experimental electronic thing there a few months back, like no singing and stuff like that,
Yeah.
minimal singing. And this one is with a friend in town who's also a songwriter, and she does some like Bjork uh,
Oh
soundings. I mean,
wow.
it's her, but I mean, she likes Bjork. She likes a lot of other really cool. So I'm like, man, yeah. So she
Yeah,
asked
I'm
me
a
to open
huge Bjork
for her.
fan. Yeah.
Oh, Bjork's awesome. Yeah, and this person, Chrysocardia is her name, and she does good stuff. And I'll be opening for her. She asked me to open for her, and I was thankful to do that. So dragging my ass out of the studio to try to do some live stuff again because before this, I think my last live gig was Brooklyn in 2018.
Wow.
My last singing live gig,
Yeah. It's been a long time for me too. Yeah, it's been like 2000 for me.
2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I actually have an opportunity to play a gig in London on in wait a second, in August. Yeah, August 14th or something, but I'm not sure I can do it yet. I don't know if maybe you didn't pick this up, but I'm actually in a psychiatric hospital right now.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I had a total, breakdown basically. So yeah, I'm actually getting out this week, which is a little anxiety provoking, but I've been here for 2 months. Yeah.
I did. I
Um,
apologize, Scott. I've been so
no, no, no,
clocked
no,
out of
no
reality
problem,
that
man.
I'm so out of touch. I apologize. I'm sorry that
No,
happened.
no, no, you don't need to apologize. No, it's been a blessing, man. I have to say, I mean, it's, it's been like, it's interesting because it's like, I had this experience too when I had this heart attack. I probably told you about that a while back where I was like, after, when I like came out of that, I was like, who am I? You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, uh, and this was like another experience like that where I was like, wow, this is like a total timeout from life and what, like, what the hell? Like, what is a day? What do I do? And it like turns out, oh, I write a lot of songs, that's what I did. So
Good song.
it was
Yeah.
actually yeah, it's been a really good experience, actually, I have to say. So it's no problem,
Okay.
and yeah, I've really gotten some perspective on things that I really didn't have before. So that
Okay.
was that
I'm
was
glad something good came out of this. I'm
yeah,
glad
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
say that. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if I can like make it work to get over there to London. It would be to open for Mystic Tea Party. I don't know if you've ever seen them on the show, but I just loved them.
Man,
This couple from Australia, actually. Um,
how cool would that be? Well,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, that'd be really cool. But
if
yeah,
you
I have
end
been
up,
thinking, wow, it has been, and, this would actually be 25 years ago that I performed live.
man, if you end up doing it, please send video or whatnot.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Love to
I will
see
send.
what you do, your sound
Yeah,
live.
yeah.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
What but so are you doing Albatross Heights songs in this live thing, or is it a different kind of thing?
Yeah, Albatross Heights, but a little scaled down in terms of volume. I'm probably going to take well, I am going to take because I have the set up, but I'm going to take quieter songs. I
Okay.
am doing Where'd You Go at the end, but I'm
Oh,
not doing
cool.
a lot of like loud rock or things like that because I want to be respectful to the environment in which it is. It's not a big rock club like and because I did that once. I'll tell you, I did that in Queens once. Somebody that was very nice booked me to play this restaurant. And she's like, "No, I know what you sound like. Put this stuff on." And I would hit chords, and I would just see people gagging on their food, like, like it's a dinner place, and I'm doing shoegaze or, and I'm like, and I stopped the gig. I'm like, I cannot ruin you guys' dinner
Yeah.
playing loud stuff, man. I mean, like, I felt like a dick.
When I first like kind of no, that wasn't like oh yeah, I was like between bands, I think, and I did like some gigs where it was just me on I had a Les Paul Special at the time and this little Fender amp that it sounded really cool, but it's just the those gigs that you do alone. That's a different it's a different set of balls you need to do that.
Yeah, it's a little naked. Feel
Yeah.
naked, and I'd love to get a band someday. I'd love to get even just two people. Doesn't have to be an ensemble, but there's the money, the time,
Yeah.
the where, it's a weird time for music right now. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of possibility of new things launching too. So
Yeah,
you know,
I always felt like, I mean, it's like, I think it's like a New York thing too, is like like people will play, well, of course you can pay them to play for sure, but either that or they'll become involved for like, but it's like a stopwatch is ticking, Like,
sure.
if something, doesn't happen with money or a label after a certain amount of time, then they drift away.
Yeah, no, that's real. I mean, especially with the city, they move away, they go to another project,
Mm,
and none of us can be mad because everybody's on their own trip doing their own thing. So like I used to do kind of a trade off. with another person who has a solo songwriting thing, real good musician, and he would play in my band and I'd play in his band. But the truth was, there was just not enough, it required too much time of each of us for the other's thing. So we can't get mad at each other to be like, you didn't play in mine or put all the
Mm.
time in yours. We got our own lanes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it worked for a bit, and you just do what you got to do. But I'm real strict on myself now with the have fun. If you're not having
Mhm.
fun, this means nothing.
Yeah, why do it? Yeah, exactly.
I could give a,
I think
I'm
that's a good
50.
message. Yeah.
I could give a crap about the music business. I could give a crap about proper promotion or proper this or that.
Yeah, yeah.
Communicate good energy to your people. Give them chills. Give them a good show. That's it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I would do this thing too, is just to have fun, and of course the opportunity to dress up like a drag queen from outer space. But
Amazing, amazing, dude. I mean, and if you do it, please let me know. And if you don't, understood, man. It's 2 months. You've had
yeah,
some
yeah,
major stuff going on. There'll
yeah,
be other times and other things.
yeah, yeah.
Gotta
It's
be real to yourself.
And what about when you're performing live? If you're hitting like some of those notes that you hit in Where'd You Go? Is that nervy for you, or do you just hit those with ease?
It's gonna be nervy for me not having performed a lot. Dude, let me tell you, there was one song I did at that thing I said when I played a few. It was like more of an experimental gig. It wasn't quite
Oh,
Albatross Heights. I sung one thing, it was a Radiohead cover, and I Peter Brady'd that shit, man. That note was like, ugh, and I was like, man. And it was through a delay too. So it was like, ugh,
oh,
ugh, ugh. And and
let me hear that again.
there's no escaping that shit. And so
Well, I actually just saw a live. I just saw a live. You know how like I don't know if you're on TikTok at all, but it's like so crazy. If you pause and watch a Radiohead number, suddenly you get 20 Radiohead live.
yeah,
And I actually saw Tom York, Peter Brady, a Tom York.
really. It's got
Yeah,
to be hard
because
to maintain that.
I was
I
really into "You're All I Need." You know that?
Oh yeah,
Radiohead
that's
song. It's just so cool, you know? And it's like, it's almost like I was studying. I was like, what is it like? It's the same riff over and over, and he does this, and then he does this. And he had a total Peter Brady crack in his voice. He's
towards
just so
the end.
naked.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just so naked over. No, it actually was like in the verse, like in the beginning, but it's just so naked over that synth bass, you know,
yeah,
over
and
that line. And it was just like, yeah, he just had one of those moments, which happens to everybody. So, you know, it's just, yeah.
it does, and it's gonna probably happen to me. But I just gotta get my stuff ready for what I have to do. Actually, is not blow my voice before next week because I've been singing and not warming up and being a jackass, and I don't want to. You remember that Marianne Faithful Saturday Night Live thing? Showing my age a little bit,
I don't
where
think so.
there's Broken English. She had a song called Broken English,
Okay.
and she went up to sing, and she was had no voice
Oh,
on live TV. She was like
oh,
choked,
wow.
couldn't. I don't want that to happen to me.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
so
Well, we actually have to end because Zoom is going to kick us off here. But it was
ah,
so great to catch up with you, man. And I'm so
me too.
what is there a next? Is there a planned next Albatross Heights song?
I am sitting on about 50 songs right now.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
at the end of this kind of bereavement period, it was I don't know if I don't want to get weird here. I don't know if it's my dad just being like, "Hey man, just rock it out," or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of energy came, a lot of positive energy came after the sadness. I've got a bunch of stuff ready to
Wow.
drop. I'm
Oh, that's
probably going to
exciting.
drop it really garage style in a mixtapey format, just being like, this is rough and ready. Here it
Oh,
is. It's
cool.
not polished. It's
Oh,
just
man,
raw.
I look forward to that, man.
I'm probably going to put a lot of those out. Actually,
Yeah.
I just want to do some garagey, rough, even little Ariel Pinky sounding stuff, Ariel Pink, you know, ish kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, So I
Oh,
don't know
I
if you're
look
familiar.
forward to that, man. No, I never heard that. I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
It's an acquired taste. I mean, it's really great, but I think you'd like it. I
Yeah,
think you'd
probably.
actually like. I'll send you some.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, man, I'm glad that you're off your break and we're going to see some more stuff soon and have a great time with the live gig, man. Are you going to
Thank
take
you
some
so
video of
much.
that at all? You're going to see some?
I'm gonna see if somebody tapes it, and if I hit bad notes, I'm gonna delete the video and no one will see it. But if I sing right, maybe it'll see the light.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get some video. I'll share it with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, have a great time. And thank you so much for coming on. Great to see you again. And
Scott, thanks for having me, man. I always love being here. I appreciate it.
yeah, talk to you soon.